Brogan. I was born here. I've been here all my life. I have 2 degrees from the University of Tennessee. So we do wealth management and retirement planning. So what does that really mean? Anything in your life that could impact your finances, whether it's investing money, whether it's how to structure income, if we can optimize our taxes, so we serve people. And that's part of our mission statement. We serve people.
Well, good morning. Happy Saturday. How's everyone doing this morning? Thanks for joining me here as we get this Saturday morning started. We got Julie, Mark, Christy, and Eva first to the chat this morning. For some reason, the broadcast is not broadcasting this live update on the East Tennessee Weather app this morning for some crazy reason. Could not get it to stream over. So there's that this morning. Gremlins must have been in here last night, right? Hopefully you had a good day yesterday. Didn't see as much coverage of rainfall throughout the day yesterday as I was anticipating. Today, I am anticipating a little bit better coverage of rainfall, and we already have some showers and storms moving its way through, say, parts of Claiborne County and into southeastern Kentucky. I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. Of course, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to go through today and tomorrow. Today and tomorrow's forecast. It is the weekend, so I want to highlight what we could anticipate possibly for the entire weekend. We've also got Witcher's pictures to share with you, and of course the national holidays. So strap in, grab yourself a cup of coffee this morning. Do you need it this morning? Let's go. Everybody, what's in your cup this morning? Hopefully your cup runneth over. runneth over. Something like that. Runneth over. Anyways, I digress. Let's take you back outside. We'll show you what it looks like this is Corrington actually here this morning. And of course, I know we've got the Granger County Tomato Festival that started yesterday. So maybe a lot of you are going to be heading up to Granger County today. We are going to have a little bit more cloud coverage, and we'll have to watch out for a few showers and thunderstorms. So don't forget to check in with the interactive radar using the East Tennessee Weather app. It's really going to be a great tool if you have any sort of outdoor plans, whether you're heading off to the lakes or just to some of those events here for the day today. All right, let's talk about rainfall over the last 24 hours. Again, like I mentioned, we just didn't quite get the coverage of rainfall. Now, it looked like it was going to rain in several locations, but the problem is it just never quite got there. So a few showers. The heaviest rain was across parts of the plateau. Fentress County picking up nearly an inch of rain in and around the Jamestown area. When you look at the numbers yesterday, we did top out at 94. What was I forecasting yesterday? I was going 93. So close there, but again, didn't pick up any rainfall. And I wasn't expecting a whole lot in the valley. We were looking at more across the plateau mountains in upper East Tennessee, but even upper East Tennessee just didn't quite get much activity. However, this is supposed to say this morning, not this evening, but all day today, we have this ridge of high pressure anchored across the southeastern coastline. That's pumping in a ton of Gulf moisture. And so the darker shades of reds and oranges indicates some high precipitable water. We talk about this on the program, precipitable water. How much water can we precipitate out of the atmosphere if we were to precipitate it all out? And it gives us a number. And the higher the number, which, ours is going from like a 2 to a 2.2 today, doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually lets us know and indicates very efficient rain producers. As I mentioned, we've got a couple of showers already starting to work their way through Claiborne County into southeastern Kentucky. We've got some showers just to the southwest of Chattanooga coming in out of Alabama, so we'll watch those. Those may run into East Tennessee here this morning. And we've got a batch of clouds. Now, these clouds, I think, should break up, and then we'll start to see the clouds fill back in, kind of like what we saw throughout the day yesterday. But again today, the Storm Prediction Center has issued a level 1 risk for isolated strong to severe thunderstorms in upper East Tennessee. So Knox County northeast, along the Tennessee, Kentucky, and Virginia border. So that's where we have the greatest dynamics. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. We haven't really seen that over the last couple of days, but just kind of keep that in the back of your head that some of these storms, if we can really get into the environment of the atmosphere, would produce damaging wind gusts upwards of, 60 miles per hour would be a severe thunderstorm warning, but I think anywhere between about 40 and 60 mile per hour winds can't be ruled out, but super isolated in nature if we can get that to go at all. Now, the Weather Prediction Center, like yesterday, has the entire area under a level 2 risk for flooding and flash flooding concerns, and that's due to the copious amounts of moisture in the atmosphere, the water. How much water can we precipitate and the efficient rain producers that could potentially take place. So through the day today, damaging winds in the low category, medium category for isolated flooding and flash flooding concerns, and not a chance for tornadoes and or any hail throughout the day today. Just a water-loaded atmosphere. So the Futurecast not really picking up on a ton of activity here first thing this morning, even though we've got a couple of showers in Claiborne County. But the general rule of thumb is I think we're going to probably see the convection start a little bit sooner throughout the day today. That's about lunchtime through about 3 o'clock. All right, so if you have plans to be out and about, this is where the interactive radar with the East Tennessee Weather app really comes in handy, giving you the past, current, and future radar of 2 hours based on storm motion. It's not perfect, but it does give you a good idea of, okay, the storm's moving away. And the first indication, as I always say, is the lightning notification. So if we have lightning in and around your area, you'll get a lightning push notification on the app itself when lightning is within 15 miles of you. And so then if you click on that, because a lot of people don't know to click on that alert, that will take you to the interactive radar, push play, and you'll be like, oh, the storms are north of me and they're moving away. We're good to go. But even through 9 or 10 o'clock here tonight, we're going to hang on to a few showers. So the hopes are that we'll see better coverage of rainfall. Does everybody get rain today? Absolutely, positively not. Do we see more coverage of rainfall today than what we saw yesterday? I do think so. I think so. That's the hopes anyways. I need it. You need it. A lot of us need it, but some of you don't need it. I've already had somebody respond on YouTube saying, man, I'll tell you what, hopefully we don't get any more today. We've had a lot. We've had a lot of rain. So again, I know some of you have already seen copious amounts of rain. Good morning, Jerry, Linda, Teresa, and Katrina joining us this morning. Check on your elderly neighbors, yes, on this heat. And we're not just talking about the heat today, but we're talking about more heat to build, not just through this week, but maybe through the end of the month and the start of August. Could be rather toasty. Dew points this morning with temperatures in the 70s. We're hanging on to the 70s, so it's another super muggy start to the day. But if you want to get out and tend on your garden, mow the yard, now's the time to do it. Well, maybe wait till 9 o'clock when people get up, right? Maybe wait till 9 o'clock. But we are definitely going to continue to see those temperatures climb into the upper 80s. So that's average for this time of the year. We are going to trend a little bit cooler, I think, thanks to the cloud coverage and a little bit better opportunity for some rainfall today than what we had yesterday. Heat index value is still going to be pushing the mid to upper 90s. And so it is definitely a big one for sure. Not a big one. It is definitely going to be a hot one either way you look at it. And even by 6 o'clock tonight, we're at 85, 78 degrees by 10 o'clock here tonight. And so, it's like once the sun starts to set and the sun angle goes down, it feels just a little bit more comfortable. Still warm, for sure, but definitely makes it feel a little bit more comfortable. All right, let me show you the big picture. This is now we're going to take you to Sunday, okay? So we've been talking about this all week long, if you've been with me, how this mid-level ridge has been sliding its way from south in North Carolina all the way to our west. So it's retrograding, and that process continues tomorrow. So what that does for us is instead of a westerly flow in the atmosphere, it's going to kind of tilt the wind shifting a little bit to the northwest because it puts us on the northeast side of this ridge. The further east or west this ridge travels, the more of a northerly flow to the atmosphere we have. And when we get a little bit more of a northerly flow, we can now start to pull some of that energy from the north and west. The last couple of days, it's been hanging strong across Kentucky, and the atmosphere has been zonal, meaning it moves pretty much from west to east. But now we're going to start to get a little bit of a dip in the upper level pattern, which should help to bring those in just a little bit more. But when you look at your rainfall forecast for the day today around the region, again, not too terribly bad. Let's add tomorrow. And I do think that we'll probably still hang on to some heavier rain showers across the Ohio Valley and into Kentucky and Virginia. And then those are going to be skimming into upper East Tennessee. So upper East Tennessee, I think, has a better chance for some rain, better chance for some isolated strong storms, better chance for some localized flooding and flash flooding. And that does continue for you folks across the Tennessee-Kentucky border as well. We'll have to watch out for that. Listen, the ground is really dry in the valley. If we were to get a big old gully wash here, it is going to produce the possibility of some localized flooding due to the fact that the ground is so dry. And so it's going to take a little bit to moisten up the ground to actually get that moisture to soak into the ground. So the initial onset of a good solid downpour in an area that has been dry could produce some localized flooding temporarily. Now, Sunday, we're going to add more rainfall to the forecast. We also have that level 1 and level 2 risk for some localized flooding and flash flooding concerns. And so that's going to continue for the day today and also through the day tomorrow. All right, let's talk temperatures on Sunday. I do think it's going to be a little bit hotter. We'll have lunchtime temperatures in the mid-70s after morning lows in the mid-70s. Lunchtime temps in the mid-80s after morning lows in the mid-70s. But our high temperatures should be just a couple of degrees warmer than what we'll experience today. I actually think we're going to see a little bit less rain coverage than what I'm anticipating today. Don't necessarily say it's going to be a guarantee, but that's the anticipation. And those heat index values are going to be a little bit hotter as well. So if you're looking to get the lakes and the pools, I'm not saying today don't do it. Don't cancel any of those outdoor plans. Go to the Granger County Tomato Festival. Hit those events that's going on in your communities. But just make sure you navigate your afternoon as these storms start to fire up. And the interactive radar is going to help you out a lot. So heat index values on Sunday are going to be pushing close to 100. Now, rain chances will start to dwindle a little bit here this week. High pressure is going to start to build its way back in and strengthen. So that's going to shut down those rain chances a little bit with a little bit less coverage of rain, more afternoon summertime thunderstorms, which likely the case across the mountains, the plateau, and the higher terrain, the classic horseshoe of East Tennessee. But when you look at your 7 days, that ridge starts to build its way back in. That's going to actually help to warm our temperatures up. We're going to be in the mid-90s potentially Thursday, Friday, with a little bit hotter weather on the way. So we'll look at your heat index values are going to be pushing close to heat advisory criteria Tuesday through next Friday. So we'll see how that plays out. Now, there is the potential, by the way, of our dew points to gradually shift onto the lower end of the 70s, which would be nice. Now, again, the lower the dew point and if the temperature were to stay the same, the lower the dew point, the less of a heat index value we have. But definitely one of those things that we'll have to watch for as we get into next week and see if it all plays out. Because it would be nice to get a little bit of a drier air mass in place. We're not quite there yet. We are in the dog days, the doldrums of summer. But, you know, it would be nice to get a little bit of drier to kind of back its way on into the area. All right, so my gardens are loving the rain, says Matthew. Oh, mine are too. My garden's thriving. Now, some of the low-hanging fruit, if you will, the rabbits are getting to them. But how do you keep the rabbits out of there without caging the whole thing off and then allowing access to get back into it? We have raised garden beds. They're like 10 by 3, 10 by 4. We've got 2 of them. So how do you keep the rabbits out and still able to access the vegetables? I don't know. If you have an answer, let me know in the chat. Brandon says, yeah, use the app. It's cool. Mike is cooler, but Curly is famous cool. Can't wait for fall. Now, there we go. Morning, Chris. How are you this morning? And good morning, Rick. How are you as well? I see that we have a birthday, but we're not going to talk about that yet. Not yet. Let's take you back outside, shall we? Let's show you a nice sunrise. I think KMNV, Monroe County Airport, has actually a lot more sunshine than other locations around East Tennessee. How about that? All right, my friends, good aviation morning across parts of East Tennessee. Other areas are going to kind of be a little bit more of an IFR kind of a morning, where you have to stay low in elevation for general aviators, but lots of sunshine. Down into Monroe County, Madisonville, Tennessee. Let's talk about those national holidays for the day today, shall we? All right, let's get those on the board. We are celebrating birthdays and events, and we got to give a big shout out to Seth. It is his birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Seth. Are you working today? Are you going to UT and working today? Hopefully not. Hopefully you got the day off. What are you doing for your birthday? And I see a lot of folks are wishing you a happy birthday here on the platform, so I'm so happy for you. You mind telling me how old you are? How old are you? And what do you plan on doing today? Ruth says, hey, Mike, I love your weather. Thanks, Ruth. I appreciate that. Yesterday, Jeff Robertson's birthday was yesterday. My dad's birthday. Nice. Well, happy birthday to Jeff Robertson, Brian Robertson's dad. All right, let's talk about those events. Again, we've got the Granger County Tomato Festival that's going on today. I don't know what we're doing. My in-laws are still here. They're going to be leaving tomorrow morning. So let's see. We tried to do a hike the other day at Aspire. That was too hot. We went to the pool yesterday, so I'll talk more about that. But today, maybe the Granger County Tomato Festival. If you are going and you see us, make sure you flag us down and say hi. All right, it's National Play Day. Who doesn't like to play? July 19th. Can you believe it's already July 19th? National Play Day. Summer is in full swing on July 19th, and the perfect day to celebrate National Play Day. It's time to unleash your inner child, spark your creativity, and learn why play is an important part of living a happy life. I would agree with that. Play is definitely an important part of living a happy life, I think. But you got to be playful, right? It's National Daiquiri Day. Anybody like those daiquiris? Strawberry daiquiris, pina coladas? What kind of daiquiris do you like? Do you drink daiquiris? Daiquiris are pretty good. Nice and refreshing as well. And, of course, you can get a mock daiquiri as well. It's National Retainer Day. National Retainer Day. Do you remember having retainers after braces? Do you still wear your retainer? I do not. My teethies are pretty good still. My wife actually ended up getting braces for a second time because she didn't wear her retainer. Her teeth shifted, and she's like, okay, I want straight teeth again. When I had a retainer, I remember my parents were like so crazy because they're crazy expensive, especially, I don't know if they still are. They probably still are. But I remember you take it out to eat, when you're in school after I got my braces off. And I think I probably threw away a couple retainers. Whoopsies. It's easy to do when you put it on that giant lunch tray, or at a restaurant, you have it on the trays, and then you put it down, and then you just dump everything in the trash can. You're like, whoopsies. That was an expensive mistake. Kind of like speeding. Speeding's an expensive mistake, isn't it? It's National Words with Friends Day. I'll give a big shout out to that. Do you like playing Words with Friends? Or have you played the game Wordle? Hey, those were all big a few years back. Every once in a while, we've got a group text. Every once in a while, somebody will post their score with Wordle. I'm like, whoa, I forgot about that game. I haven't played that game in a long time. But National Word with Friends Day. So play, and that was cool about Words with Friends is you could play anybody. You could play your mom and dad that live in another state, live in another country. And it's toss away the could haves and should haves day. Let's see what that's about, huh? Yeah, could haves, coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? Across the United States, the third Saturday is in July. Across the United States, the third Saturday in July recognizes toss away the could haves and should haves day. In short, don't go through life with regrets. I would agree with that. I do have one regret. I was talking to my father-in-law about this just the other day. Not a big regret. But when we moved to Colorado back in 2014, when I first bought my house in 2006, I moved here in 2005, bought my very first house in 2006. It was like an 840 square foot house. Lived in it for nearly 10 years. I had a baby, 2 dogs. My wife had a business through there, got married in that house. It was a great house. In Northwest Knoxville off of Western Avenue. Actually showed my kids the house the other day. They were like, oh my gosh, Dad, that's a teeny tiny house. I said, I know it is a teeny tiny house. But see that tree in the front yard? Your mom and I planted that tree when we were together before you all were born. Look how tall it is now. Anyways, my biggest regret is that when we moved to Colorado that I sold that house, made little profit on it, didn't make a ton of profit on it. And I should have kept it as a rental property for a little bit of mailbox money, I'd say. Oh, well, I suppose I should throw that away. The woulda, coulda, should'ves. It didn't happen. I need to take care of that and not have any regrets. Other than that, I have very minimal regrets. 28 years old. All right, there we go. No work until next Wednesday. Hamburger, hot dogs, and cookie cake chocolate chips. That sounds like a good birthday, my friend, and happy birthday to you. I remember those days of being 28. Actually, I think I was about 28 years old when I moved here to East Tennessee for the morning job over at the TV station. That was a long time ago. Wait, that's not it. All right, those are your national holidays for the day today. We'll take you back outside. We'll show you what it looks like in downtown Clinton here, where we do have the overcast skies. Let's take that full, shall we? Overcast skies right now in downtown Clinton, Anderson County. We do have the clouds hanging out with us here at this hour. And remember I said that we do have a couple of showers out there. So I do want to show you what that looks like on the radar here in just a moment. Well, we did. There it is. We did have some showers. And we do have some showers. So if you're joining us from Union County, Norris Lake, Sharps Chapel, Big Barren, a couple of quick little showers. Caryville to Jacksboro and La Follette, Fincastle and Speedwell, you're next in line for seeing some showers. We've had these showers towards Habersham, Clearfield, and the Powell Valley area, moving its way into Harrogate, and then sliding its way into southeastern Kentucky and southwest Virginia. And then we'll take you down to Chattanooga because we do have some healthier showers down to our south. Let me switch the radar here. There we go. Pretty good showers just outside of Bridgeport and Stevenson in northern Alabama. So these could push their way towards Chattanooga. So heads up in the Southern Valley. We do have some healthier showers moving your way. So we'll loop this over the last 30 minutes. You can see how this is sliding its way to the north and northeast. So we'll be watching that, but special weather statements right now into northern Alabama. parts of southern Middle Tennessee, and so these are probably going to slide their way into Chattanooga. So the Southern Valley heads up. You've got some heavier rain moving its way into your area as we speak, or just off to the south and west of you. As a crow flies, it would be, we're looking at about 20 to 30 minutes or so before it moves its way into Chattanooga. So it's about 40 miles away right now from downtown Chattanooga. All right. So let's go to the chats and see what y'all are saying again. Hopefully you have a good Saturday. Who's doing what today? Let's see. Put the past in the past, can't change it. I agree with you. I don't dwell on it. It's just when it becomes a conversation. I don't know, actually. Anybody know who the Smokies are playing next week? Strawberry daiquiris. There we go. A red sangria drinker, are you? And I hope you have a great day as well, no matter what you get into, Jen. The saying is, happy wife is a happy life, so make every day a play day. I agree with that. Oh, there we go. Eric says, Kingsport, if you're up and around Upper East Tennessee or want to take a little commute, no matter where you live, Kingsport's Fun Fest is all week long. Just go visit funfest.net. Oh, happy 80th birthday. You're going to be doing some dog sitting today, Brian. What's up, Brian? How are you? Swing by the Brewery Witch and see him. Maybe we will. We'll get the in-laws in town, so I don't know what we're going to be doing. They leave tomorrow. So we gotta enjoy what the in-laws are doing. Actually, tomorrow, Brian, I'll be over at Orange Hat Brewery for pickleball. Hi, Mike in Bryson City, North Carolina. What's up, Carcane? How are you this morning? Enjoying the cooler weather. Ooh, I love Bryson City. Will those showers turn into anything, or is that later? I think the majority of the severe weather or the potential severe weather would be later in the afternoon once we heat everything up. But you can clearly see with that those showers to our south and west that the ones that are getting ready to move into Chattanooga are bringing us some heavier rain, and that's the sign that we just have efficient rain producers on the way. Toss away. The X is long gone. Happened in February, so I celebrated a few months early. There we go. Good job, Chris. Good morning, Krista. How are you? What time are you thinking for the rain at Fort Loudon Lake? We'll have to watch out for those. We'll see what those showers, John, and we'll see what those showers do just south of us in Chattanooga. They'll probably just shift their way over into the mountains of East Tennessee, North Carolina, and then we'll have to watch out for those probably later on today. I'd say anytime after about noon, start to pay attention because we could have an earlier onset of showers today than what we, had yesterday, and we didn't really have a whole lot yesterday. And maybe today turns out to be like yesterday and we just don't get a whole lot. But we do have a little wave moving on in, and so that should help to spark off a little bit more activity and realize that, while we do have that southwesterly flow taking shape right now, I think through the day we're going to get a little bit more of a westerly, northwesterly flow to any of those showers, which would bring them, say from the plateau down into the valley. That's the thinking anyways. So if you have outdoor plans, just check in with the interactive radar. That 2-hour future cast, let me show you. That 2-hour future cast is really going to be a wealth. So a wealth of information. So if you don't have the East Tennessee weather app, this is what it looks like when you open it up. Let me move that out of the way. Again, you got your full forecast in 1 Minute with Witcher. 1 Minute with Witcher is already updated, by the way. I got in here early. I just couldn't sleep. But here we go. Well, interactive radar. So let's go down to Chattanooga and come back down here. And so we do have, if you click on that, you can see that you get the warning. Special weather statement right now has now been issued for the Chattanooga area. And so we push play, and there's your past 2 hours, and then pauses, and here's your future cast of 2 hours. So within the next 2 hours, it is expected to push its way into Chattanooga, South Pittsburgh area. Let's go. Let's zoom out a little bit more. So here, this will give you a good idea. And you can always toggle. You can toggle it, that little cloud. And so if you toggle it, you can see how it's going to be, and they'll give you a better timing. So South Pittsburgh, better timing, heavy rain possibly here at about 9:13. So in about 14 minutes or so, 14, about 30 to 45 minutes for you. And then probably getting closer into the downtown Chattanooga, closer to about, say 10 to 10:30 this morning. That would probably be the best idea because they're slow movers. But that's where the interactive radar comes in handy. Along with a wealth of other information as well. So we'll go up to Upper East Tennessee, and we'll go to Union County and what's going on there. Now, of course, it's just taking into account what's actually happening right now. It's not going to take into account what could potentially form through the next couple of hours. Just keep that in mind. So if another cell fires up because of an outflow boundary or something like that, it's not necessarily going to pick up on that. So you have to go back to the interactive radar. Oh, look at that storm just fired up. Let's go back to the interactive radar and check that out. Remember, a quick tip and trick is click the orange TN and the white lightning bolt in the top left for iPhone. It does not work for Android, by the way, for iPhone. And it will take you back to the home page. All right, let's check in on some of those photos, shall we? See what kind of photos we've gotten over the last couple of days. And we have had some cool photos. So here's a really cool one. I'm going to take a guess on who this is from. So I'm going to say it's Otto. No, it's Joni Simmons. A still foggy evening on the Clinch River near Norris. That is a beautiful shot, Joni. Thanks so much for sharing that one. And we've got another. How about this great photo right here? This is a good one. Oh, let's rotate that. I don't know why it does that. There we go. How about this little photo? This little munchkin. That's a cool one. I love that. Thanks for sharing that. This is coming in from Lisa Gibson, my beautiful grandson's baby Corbin and Branson. Oh, good morning, Branson and Corbin. And of course, to you as well, Lisa. We sure hope you have a great day. I think that's about all the photos that we have actually on Witcher's Pictures. But remember, we went to go do a little bit of hiking the other day, or went to Aspire. I told you that. I went to Aspire the other day, and I was like, oh, let me show you my little house. I'll show you my little house. I don't know. I showed you this to you yesterday. I think that's my little house that the kids were making fun of. Look at that little tiny 860 square foot house. And that tree on the left is the tree that my wife and I planted as a little tiny stick. It was a little tiny stick when we first got married. Oh, you want to know one of my biggest pet peeves? Should I just get on a soapbox here for a second? And if you can guess where this comes to, see if there's any information. Or it says on the receipt. Here's one of my biggest pet peeves. How about that? That's a receipt. Do you want to know how many things I bought? 3. I bought 3 things. And that's the receipt I got. Name the store. Can you name the store? They print off massive amounts of receipts all the time. Ugh. Here's a great photo of the in-laws and the family when we went to Aspire. So that was at Aspire. So that's my father-in-law, mother-in-law, the kids, and my wife. So that was yesterday. Not yesterday, day before yesterday. And we were like, it's just too darn hot. And then yesterday we said, okay, we're not going to go hiking. Let's go to the pool. And big shout out to the Carnes. Let's see if I can get this right. The Carnes Lions Club pool, I guess, event center or whatever. That's where we had a chance to go to. We had never been there. And wow, amazing. Great pool, great atmosphere, music, food, of course, and plenty of room for everybody to hang out and relax. And my wife and I looked at each other and said, we're buying passes to the Carnes Lions Club pool next year. Or the Lions pool or whatever. I think it's the Lions Club, but anyways. Food City, the answer is no. You are correct, my friend. You are correct, my friend. You are correct, my friend. CVS. Biggest pet peeve. What a waste of paper, because do you know how many of those they're printing every single day across the country, the world? Is CVS across the world? I don't know. Just wasting paper and wasting plastic for no reason is just gets on my nerves. I don't get angry about it. I'm just, just like, come on, do we need to do this? We got to try to be, we got to do everything we can, right? We got to do everything we can to take care of the earth around us. We'll go back outside. All right, those storms are probably going to be moving into Chattanooga just a little bit sooner. They're starting to move right along, bring it down to the current view. And again, based on these, we'll show you that based on these, they're moving at about 29 miles per hour. So with that, I'll give you a little storm track knowing that we actually have, we'll kind of go this way. So there we go. 29 miles per hour. It's going to be in South Pittsburgh here at 8:38. Oh, you can't even see that. Let's go back to that. Wrong maps there, which are wrong maps. South Pittsburgh at 8:38. It's going to be at Chattanooga at about 9:16. 9:16 is when it's going to. Lookout Mountain about 9:13. Morganville at 9:08. And Whiteside at 8:53. So heads up across the Southern Valley. But I do think that things will kind of move right along and move on out of here. Boy, it's 8:31 already. The morning is cruising right along. It is, my friends. It is. You could wrap a forest of trees with those receipts. Right. That is my point. Same here. Yeah. Good morning, Janet. How are you this morning? You don't shop at CVS, but I get long ones from Food City for just a couple of things. Food City does the same thing. Nothing we can do about it. Maybe try to buy more things than just a few things, I suppose. I don't know. Hey, don't forget, Wake Up with Witcher starts off at 8 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning. I sure hope you have a great day today. Get out. If you see the Witchers out and about, don't be afraid to say hi. We may go to the Granger County Tomato Festival today. I'll go mention that to my family when they get up and out of bed. Likely not the case. Hey, listen, if you're joining on the app, never mind. We weren't broadcasting live on the app here this morning. The 24-hour channel is on the app, though. So if you caught us late on the forecast, you can go back to the app itself, scan the QR code, download the East Tennessee Weather app. Make sure you check in with the interactive radar. Make sure you change the settings to what feels comfortable to you. And allow notifications and location services, because no matter where you may be traveling to, it'll notify you of lightning when it's within 15 miles and storms approaching, or any special weather statements or severe thunderstorms and warnings, because we are talking about efficient rain producers and should see a little bit better coverage of rainfall throughout the day today versus what we saw yesterday and pretty much all week long. And if you've seen a lot of rain here this week, some of you have, some of us have not, but if you have, keep in mind localized flooding and flash flooding is going to be a concern. All right, my friends, have a great day. I'll see you back on social media throughout the day today. Your next weather update recorded, which of course I'll keep you posted, is on the East Tennessee Weather app, happens at noon, and another one at 6 o'clock here tonight. So make sure you check in with those as well. I do post those on social media. All right, have a great day. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Be safe, be kind to each other. Life is short.